That's between 60 million and 240 million people. Now, in light of that shocking statistic, as well as the deadly terror attacks in San Bernardino, do authorities need to start surveilling mosques here in the United States to see if they have connections to extremist groups? Joining us now with reaction, author of The Complete Infidel's Guide to ISIS, Jihad Watch's director, Robert Spencer, Act for America founder, Brigitte Gabriel, as well as Dr. Nadal El-Sayed. And he claims he was forced to resign as an imam from the Islamic complex of Triplex after he appeared on this show earlier this week and supported Donald Trump's proposed Muslim ban, temporary ban. Now, since yesterday, we have tried to contact the Islamic Society of Triplex to get a statement or hear their side of the story, but they have not gotten back to us. Imam, let's start with you. So you come on the show, you say you support the idea of a temporary ban so we can get our vetting system right. What happened?
That's exactly right, Sean. The problem is, day after day, it's becoming more clear to me that a lot of American Muslims, that's what we have been explaining in many lectures we do to the youth. A lot of American Muslims, it seems like they have no tolerance for. They are ready to fight. They are ready to attack. I've been receiving, since your show, over about 6 or 7 text messages threatening me for how dare you about banning immigrants and Muslims. Those people, that's what we have. The problem, especially after being forced to resign yesterday through some messages from some people.
Well, what's the reason they gave that you were forced to resign? What did they tell you?
His exact statements, how possible that you could support Trump and you know who is Trump. What do you mean, like, I know who's Trump? We are dealing with facts and we're dealing with certain statements. We religious people and leaders go with the textbook. We don't take emotions in our viewpoints. We don't take presidential candidates. They have their own campaigning. Why would you mix a campaign with a message that will bring peace to us? See, that's the issue.
Let me ask you this. Were those death threats that you got? And were they from people in your mosque or from around the country?
It's mostly in Beaumont. I've seen all record numbers coming on, and some other, numbers are. I believe it's within the Beaumont greater area, original area. It's not. I don't think it's outside Beaumont or Houston.
Yeah.
Problem. I also received that over 102 imams in Houston were also terminated this week, also due to some differences in viewpoints they give. We have trouble here with American Muslims across the United States. In all these hundreds of Islamic societies, they are basically not doing zero job in trying to educate the youth about take to live as a peaceful American Muslims in this country.
Let me go to Brigitte, because we have been saying we want moderate Muslims. In this case, you're talking about a leader, an imam, to speak out against those that hijack this religion and use it to kill innocent men, women, and children. He, to me, is part of the solution, but yet he's rejected and thrown out of his mosque, and now he's getting death threats or getting threats from people. What does that tell us?
This is a reality check. This is a reality check for everybody who says we need to reach out. We need to work with the moderate Muslims. The majority of them are moderate. And here when you see someone, an imam like him, who actually really steps out and says, listen, we have a problem. We need to start educating the youth about moving away from radicalism. You see the reaction that he is getting. And he's not the exception. We have heard this reaction, Sean, towards people who spoke up before, like Tawfiq Hamid and Zuhdi Jasser, and many of the moderate Muslims that we work with. And what we need to pay attention to is the radicalization of American mosques in America today. 3 separate studies done between 2005 and 2010 of American mosques across the United States, and some of the most prominent mosques in America, showed that 70% of American mosques are radicalized. And what happened to this imam is just a reality check for us to learn from.
Yeah. And Robert Spencer, I mean, we've always said to win this battle, we need moderates, we need Muslims to stand up against radicals in their religion. Here you have this imam courageously saying, you know what, for the safety of the American people, the vetting system isn't right. We now know that they're forging passports. Syrian passports. ISIS is. ISIS has a plan to infiltrate the refugee community. And this imam says, no, the safety of Americans comes first. Let's get that right. And he's thrown out of his mosque. I'm trying to understand.
It's very telling, Sean.
What does it tell you?
It's very telling. because what you have here is the fact that ISIS and other Islamic groups like it, they claim to be the exponents of authentic Islam, and they threaten to murder as apostates and heretics anybody who gets out of line. So if you are a genuine moderate, a sincere Muslim who actually rejects the idea of killing in the name of Allah and Muhammad, then you're putting your own life on the line, and you could well be threatened. This is why, one of the reasons why we don't see a big pushback among moderates, and why it's foolish to count on them. There have been Muslims against ISIS rallies that have gotten like 30 people, 50 people here and there around the country, and they don't have the huge numbers you see for people like protesting cartoons of Muhammad and things like that. The problem that we have is that the Islamic jihadists can point to the texts and teachings of the Quran and the example of Muhammad to justify their actions.
Well,
the moderates have no counter to that.
Well, let me ask you, Mom, let me ask you. You heard Loretta Sanchez, a Democratic congresswoman, saying that she believes it's between 5 and 20% of the population that has been radicalized. You know, through your own experience, do you think those numbers are correct?
Even if it wasn't correct, Sean, even 1% is too much. To tell you the truth, so if that's happening on American soil of contemporary like level of life that we're living like right here, with all kind of freedom, all types of open opinions to discuss and be different, learning even the laws of differences. People are getting there's an inherent violence that is been basically built in many of these Muslims. I sadly say that because I've seen it. I'm their imam. They're praying behind me.
Do you feel
their religious leaders?
Do you feel your life is in jeopardy, sir?
After I've seen all these messages, a lot of people are advising me to contact the authorities and FBI, and it seems like this is going to happen soon.
Yeah, I would do that. I think that makes sense. All right, thank you all for being with us. Very sad.